What's up, family? Welcome to the Hub. Excited. I have Tennielle here. That is from She Speaks Bougie. Her podcast is the bomb, y'all. You need to check it out. I was like, you know what? I need Tennielle to come on my podcast. So thank you, Tennielle, for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm ecstatic.
So Tennielle, please do share with the audience because we're nosy. Tell us a little bit about your love journey.
Yeah. So since y'all nosy and whatnot, I guess I'll just have to give you the tea right now. So my love journey is one for the books because I am the urban legend. I am somebody who married my ex.
You married your ex? No way.
Yeah, I married my ex, girl.
So okay, so how did that even happen? Where did you meet? What made you break up? And what happened?
Yeah. So in my 20-something age, I met him on Craigslist, and I'm like really telling you the tea.
You were looking for a maintenance man.
I was not. I was looking for love, girl, and I found him on Craigslist. Yes, I did. And this is like before the Craigslist killer. Okay, so it's before like, things got shady. This was like mid 2000s, and so I posted this ad. It sounds so lame. So like, I posted this ad on Craigslist, like, women seeking men. And I just shared my story of like, BBW and I want love and I'm quirky and fun and all this stuff. And I actually just wanted a date for Valentine's Day. And he actually ended up messaging me. And he wasn't my style at the time. I was like, because at the time I was really into white guys. I was like, nah, he's black. And I was like, no. And so we dated. No, I'm sorry. So what happened was I was watching Raheem Devon and this song came on. And then this during time of MySpace, where I went to his MySpace page and that song was playing and I was like, oh, there might be something about this guy. I like him. And that's how it started. So I had to thank Raheem Devon for making me give this guy a chance. And so we dated for 2 years and it was a rocky relationship. He had his own thing. We would get back together, break up, get back together, the whole thing.
No.
Yeah. And then we broke up where I had enough. And he started dating somebody else. I was single during that 4-year period. I was actually celibate. And I know that it sounds really trite to say this, but like I found myself. I found my relationship with God. I found myself, how I work, loving myself, dating myself. I went to the gym, went to church. I just like enjoyed the things that made me who I am, helped me feel rooted in who I am. And somehow I stayed really good friends with a mutual married couple, a mutual friend that's married, and they invited me to their gender reveal party for their firstborn. And so I went and I was like, well, is he going to bring his girlfriend, because I knew he was dating someone. And they were like, no, it's just going to be him. And I went and he was like, hey, shocked to see me, and we ended up reconnecting. I was like, no, I'm not interested. No, we can be friends. But I truly, when I said that I was happy being alone and not.
She said he's just a friend. Oh baby, you got what I need.
Yes, like it's the truth. I was like, no, we're just friends. Like I have no interest in you. Because of the hurt and how much work I did on myself, I just wasn't willing to go down the route. But what happened was I prayed this simple prayer to God. Actually, it was simple to me in terms of its consistency. And every day for a year, I would drive down this on-ramp to work and I would pray for my husband. I would pray for somebody who was confident and strong and somebody who was kind. And I prayed over him. I prayed over if he's in a relationship, I hope he's learning from this relationship. I hope that he's getting what he needs and he's not broken, God. I hope that
Mm,
whatever he's going through right now, since he's not with me, Lord, that it's a lesson. So when we do get together, I don't have to be his teacher. And
mm,
I did it every single day for a year. And I said, God, I want my husband to shout his love for me from the rooftops. Because my picker is, I know we talked about this, like my picker is a little off. So I'm like, you know what?
mm-hmm.
I want you to know, let me know that this is my husband. And by doing so, I want him to say, I'm going to marry this girl. So
Mm.
back to the gender reveal party, I told him, no, I don't want to be with you, da 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 da. And he walked me to my car. And when he went back into the house, and this is my husband who's like pragmatic and quiet and just not the guy who's Mr. Gregarious. Okay. He's the
Yeah.
guy who's like in the corner, like, hey, I don't want to talk about this. Or I don't talk to you. So he said, hey guys, that woman that just left right now, that's my wife.
No.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And how I knew this, because my girlfriend was like, hey, the craziest thing happened, because she was trying to get me to talk to him again. And I was like, no, 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 no. I was fighting everybody, child. And I was fighting everybody. No, 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 no. And she said, well, okay, fine. But he said the funniest thing. He said that, you're his wife. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry,
Excuse
what?
me?
Excuse me? He said, what? And he was like, yeah. I said, Muddy? And she said, yeah, girl. Because everyone knows him.
Mm,
And yeah, I took that and I said, okay, God, that was you. That was a you thing.
mm-hmm.
That wasn't a me thing. And from that
Wow.
moment, I said, okay, fine, we're gonna do this. And I did not make him jump through hoops for me, because I
Mm,
knew it was a God prompt. So I didn't make him do anything but apologize to my parents. I made him apologize to my family for his behavior. And then, ever since then, we just worked on our relationship. It, you know, we I make this joke that nobody was checking for me when I was growing up. When I was in college, when I was in high school, I never really dated. Nobody was checking for me.
mm-hmm.
During those times, I was vastly overweight. I was just always the girlfriend, the handbag holder.
Mm.
I was never somebody where people were like, "Ooh, who's that girl?" In terms of romance,
Yeah.
being the homie, I was a homie all day long. But when it came
No
to like,
problem.
hey, what that thing do? Nobody was asking what that thing do, you know?
So
So yeah.
so what shifted? So let's talk to women who were vastly overweight and the BBWs. Like what changed or what shifted for you? Do you think it was a shift in you or do you think it was a shift in everybody else?
It was a shift in me that shifted everybody else.
Okay.
Because I was able to identify the love I have in myself, who I
Mm,
am. I honored myself, therefore you're going to honor me. I still had and have my own little hangups, which every woman does, duh.
everybody. Hmm.
But there are different elements of myself, my sexuality, where I was like, look, there's some good stuff under all of this. So you need to just be like,
Hey.
hey, you can flip them too. You can bend the leg back too. Like I have to be able to like get comfortable with my body and be like, yo,
Right.
like this is gonna change over time. But my heart, my passion for life, my humor, the fact that I love God, that's not gonna change.
Right.
So you're either gonna love that, and this vessel will go up and down over time. But
Hmm.
essentially, you're gonna have to be okay with that. So if you're not into big girls, then don't talk to me.
Don't do it. Oh man. So okay, so now round two came around.
Mhm.
He said sorry to the parents. And then how did it progress? Well, was it easy this time? Was it still a roller coaster like the last time? Like, was it different?
Oh, great question. So it was easier
Mm,
because I was a different person. I wasn't this like
mm,
20 something year old who just happy that somebody even like looked my way and was like, "Ooh, I have a boyfriend." It was more like, and like I have a career. I drive at the time an Infinity coupe.
mm-hmm.
Like I was styling, profiling, like, and what? Like, who are you? So you should be looking to be dating moi. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Not like haughty, like I'm better than you, but more like I'm the ish, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so like it or love it, and I hope you love it. And so that, because again, you teach people how to treat you, and so because I was able to teach him how to treat me, it was easier.
Mm-hmm.
Our relationship had ups and downs because we were learning each other at different ages. You know, being 25 versus being 29, having a career and having a better attitude on life. It's a different person than somebody who is 25 who's like, oh no. So, and then now that I'm 38, I'm like, yeah, I did the work. I did the work on myself. And so now our relationship, we know, especially during like the growing season of like dating and being engaged and whatnot, it was definitely easier. We had our bumps but we learned how to fight fair. We learned how to be open with one another, give each other space. And that one example of, or like advice that's unsolicited that says, never go to bed angry. Girl,
Mm-hmm.
look, don't talk to me. I need my rest. Don't talk to me, okay? I'm not feeling you right now.
Hi.
But but we have a caveat with that. And the caveat
Mm.
is we may be beefing right now. We may be beefing, but our toes have to touch in the bed.
No.
Our toes have to touch. With our son, if there's ever an issue or anything, that never interferes with his well being.
Mm-hmm.
And our son needs to see us fight fair. Our son needs to
Mm-hmm.
see us like, how do we also work with conflict? How do
Mm-hmm.
we resolve conflict? And so yeah, I will say that like we've been married 6 years, and it's been great. It's been as great as like any healthy marriage is. Sometimes you just want to be like, man, I can't stand you. I can't stand you.
I love it.
But I love you, and
Oh,
I like
yay
you.
to the toe touch.
Oh yeah, our toes have to touch. Like if I know he like moves his toe over and I go and he'll be like mm, and I go
These are the things that make marriage work. Okay, guys, just in case you're wondering, the toe touch. And I definitely get that. And humor is a big part of that. So I'm hearing that there's humor in your relationship, which also keeps the viability. So Tennielle, do you have a question for me?
yeah. I am the kind of person. I don't know if it's the Virgo in me. I'm just gonna be really open here. So my personality type is when we are beefing,
Mm,
where I go, all right, I just won't talk to you for right now. And then sometimes that right now can go into like, so the actions of the toe touch are still there. We
mhm.
still talk about what's going on with the kiddo and all that stuff. But like, there are moments where I'm like, just give me my space. I need it. But pardon me, if he does that to me, I'm like, oh,
Ooh.
me I like that, Me I like that one bit, You can't do that to me. So, how do you work through the double standard of
Mm.
how of communicating over like getting your feelings hurt or hurting feelings? Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, it definitely makes sense. And that specifically reminds me of a time when I was dating Andy. I mean, Andy's my husband, and we were dating and we went on a missions trip to Kenya. So we flew 23 hours from Miami. So we went from Miami to Heathrow to Nairobi, and then we got in a jitney and we're in bumpy roads. I lost track of where we were. I was trying to throw the breadcrumbs. I was like, just forget it. I'm somewhere in the bushes. I don't know where I am. I don't know. Right. So pray to Jesus. So we were out there and we were visiting friends of mine who were missionaries, and the guys were in the kitchen talking and whatever. And I step into the kitchen and he's having a conversation with my guy friend about his ex-girlfriend and how she used to like help his mom and like do the dishes. And I was like, like I know we didn't just travel from Miami to Heathrow, from Heathrow to Nairobi, to in the bumpy car to the bushes for you to be talking about your ex. Like, go be with her, right? So I was mad. And I remember going into the bathroom and locking myself in there, and I was in there for a minute, and he was just like, now by then I had dragged him to a marriage conference, and I just to help me with note writing. And I remember he came to knock on the door and say, Cass, how are you feeling? Right. So that was like one of the questions. And I ignored him and he went back to the kitchen. I went back to my room and I was there for maybe 20 minutes. And I remember sitting on the bed and just thinking to myself, how would I feel if he just stopped talking to me for a night? Because, it was late already. So pretty much this would go to the next morning. And I said to myself, how would I feel if he just stopped talking to me for the entire night? And if that went into the next day? And it made me think of a family member that I have, very close family member, that if their daughter wouldn't wash the dishes, they wouldn't talk to them for a month. Like if they came home from work and the dishes weren't washed, it would be tension. And it's only the two of them that lived in the house. And there would be this tension that you could cut through the tension, how tense it was in their house when it was only two people over dishes or vacuuming or something so simple. And I remember not liking that feeling, because even though I came in with my bubbly self and they were nice to me, I could feel the animosity between them. And that still goes on to this day. So I started to think about, if this is the person that's for me, I have to be very conscious of the seeds that I'm sowing into our foundation. So I said, all right, I'm gonna buck up. Okay. So I remember going over to his room. We were on a mission trip. So I remember going over to his room and saying, Andy, I got to talk to you. And I shared with him how I felt and how I felt disrespected and what that felt like. And at that point, I was ready for us to just dead it, for it to be over. But I still wanted to, be peaceful in it. And we worked it out. And the next morning, we were laughing at the breakfast table. And I remember my friend and his wife coming into the room saying, y'all gonna make it. Like, what you talking about? He said, we went through 2 years of therapy to do what y'all just did, to be able to rebound so quickly, in essence, will help you in a marriage when you get there. And that's the beautiful thing that we've taken with us to this day, is that even though we get caught up in our feelings sometime, we still do the difficult thing to address it, to not sow those seeds into our relationship. So that's my two-step for you. You take from it what you want. You simmer, you massage it, you think about it, and you see what applies. But that is what has worked for us, and I am so grateful.
I love that. So it's really just being empathetic, understanding how you treat people is how you want to be treated. And so if you feel a certain way, try not to make the other person feel that way. So I like that. Yeah, I'll definitely like to simmer some more and implement that into my, not necessarily everyday life, because we don't do this every day, but like in the moments where you're beefing and you're like,
Right.
We're beefing right now. So we need to talk about this. And I love what you said about rebounding. So like, having a quicker rebound is so much better than like not talking for a month. A month for dishes?
For dishes.
That's not gonna work for me.
But there's things that we get upset over that could be just as silly, a peanut butter sandwich, drawers on the floor, right? The things, all the things. Oh my goodness, Tennielle, I'm just so happy you made it over to the show. So I want to know, how can people get in contact with you? How can they follow you? Where can they find you? Come on.
So again, thank you so much for having me on the show. What a delight. Like, you are the bomb.com, like seriously. You can find me at She Speaks Bougie, basically everywhere She Speaks Bougie podcast is heard. You can find me on Instagram, She Speaks Bougie. And also, I am not really on Twitter that much, so we'll just stick to Instagram and a little bit of Facebook here and there. And I'm on Clubhouse, so soon I'll be getting a room. So find me in the Clubhouse streets. If you want to chit chat there, we can. My website is also shespeaksbougie.com, where we have all the latest episodes of how we can normalize what it's like to just be a bougie Black woman without any fears, regrets, and just loving who we are. So yeah, thank you. That's basically what I got.
Thank you. She Speaks Bougie. And yeah, I'm on Clubhouse too, at Inspire Many. So follow the both of us. And thank you so much for being on the podcast. I know somebody got some gems. So for all my BBWs out there, embrace who you are, baby. Embrace all the beauty. And look, you too can find love. Thanks, Tennielle. Mwah.